Coach Shane Deitz. Welcome to the West Indies, welcome to Antigua, newly appointed head coach of the West Indies women's team. Tell us, what your thoughts on being appointed?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the opportunity. Obviously, the West Indies cricket has an amazing history of success. It's about continuing that success over the next few years of my tenure. Obviously, it's going to be challenges along the way, but that's one of the reasons I took this job, for the challenges. It's going to be really, really good to work with these talented individuals, which there's an abundance of talent in the West Indies, and I'm just so excited.
As you mentioned talent, you're in the thick of things in your arrival in the Caribbean, just in time for the Massey Women's CPL that just completed. You were able to attend the tournament. Tell us your thoughts on what you saw from our players participating there.
Yeah, I thought it was a brilliant tournament, and the final was a great game as well. It was a good blend of overseas players and obviously local players, and it was a good opportunity for our local players to work with some really amazing world-class players like Sophie Devine, Susie Bates, and they really, hopefully they learned a lot being in that environment with those girls. But what was on display was an amazing talent and a love for the game, a passion for the game, and a good passion for that tournament. I know it's only been going for 2 times now, but hopefully that WCPL will grow and get more teams and more overseas players and create more excitement. So this would be a great environment for our players to learn from and prove their skills or show their skills to the world in what is really a world-class tournament.
Obviously, you would have met the players on your arrival at the CPL and would have had a little chat with them. Can you talk us through a little bit, not in details, not all the secrets, but can you tell us, what was some of your welcome speech like?
Yeah, I really think it's about the girls taking responsibility for this team, and I'm really strong on things off the field as well as on the field. I really believe that, if you're organised, strong young woman off the field, you're going to do that on the field as well, and that's something that we're going to be working a lot on, a lot of the stuff off the field. On the field there's lots of talent, but we really got to enhance and bring that talent, organise that talent together, and a lot of those things off the field we'll be working on, the team culture, leadership within the team, and particularly when the girls are away from the team environment, back on their islands and own countries, that they'll be able to do some work and keep up their cricket and fitness levels and other off-field personal development things that we'll be working on to create a whole what we call a role model in all our players, to be role models for the next generation of young West Indian cricket players.
Obviously, you're a coach who have worked with other national teams in international cricket. Coming here to the Caribbean now, the successes we've had in the past and in the recent, past with the series victory against Ireland, obviously you would have been paying attention, you would have seen the West Indies women play along the line. What are some of the things you're looking forward to in terms of plans and carrying the women's program into the future?
Yeah, I think West Indies has a style of cricket, and I really want to enhance that style of cricket, be entertaining, be attacking, and they played some good cricket against Ireland. That was a really great series win, and I really want to enhance that attacking mentality and the West Indian Caribbean way of playing cricket. So we're going to be focusing on a lot of that and really just trying to go out and win games, and it's going to be difficult. Particularly Australia are the best in the world for a reason, and they're winning everything of late. So it's a real good opportunity for us to play against the best, and then we can measure ourselves against them, and then we can obviously work on areas that we need to work on, and within time be up there and competing with them in the World Cups in the next few years.
You mentioned Australia. That's your first assignment as head coach for the West Indies women's team. We play just shy of 3 weeks maybe, our first game against them. You being Aussie, how are you going to use your knowledge of the conditions and their playing style? Because obviously you would have come up through that system. How are you going to implement your knowledge and impart your knowledge onto our team to get those types of performances that can force competitive cricket?
Yeah, I think each place in Australia has its unique characteristics as well. So we'll be using those in our selection and game plans and tactics to what suits the best pitch. It's quite early in the Australian summer, so particularly a place like Melbourne, it could be 25, 30 degrees and it could be 15 degrees. So we're going to have to be a little bit flexible. So the conditions may change a bit, but Sydney and Brisbane will be great venues, and all the venues are really great. And so we're going to have some good quality pitches to play on, which will suit our way we want to play cricket. And yeah, we've got a bit of local knowledge and a few things up my sleeve that we might produce out in the field, but obviously can't let all my secrets out, as you say.
Now, a couple of our players who will be on that squad have played in Australia continuously over the last few years in the WBBL. As a coach, how are you going to complement their experience in terms of getting the younger ones, you know, to hit the ground running, so to speak?
Yeah, well, a lot of our tactics will be player driven, so I want the players to come up with their own tactics and work with the senior players, and then we talk as a group and we'll work out the best way to go about it, and then we'll take that onto the field. So the players are going to have to come up with a lot of their own ideas, and they'll use the likes of, you know, Haley, Stephanie and the senior players to get ideas from them and pick their brains, because they say they've played a lot in Australia. And then we'll work on it together, but it's about the players really coming up with some good ideas themselves, and together as a team working things out, and then I'll talk to me and the other coaches, and then we'll finalise our plans.
Your arrival as head coach into the team is somewhat at a threshold, if you want to call it that, with the T20 World Cup being in Bangladesh September next year. You have a couple international series before that. Excited in terms of getting the preparations going to perform? Obviously, it's going to be in subcontinental conditions.
Yeah, it's a different world there, and also I coached Bangladesh for a year, so I know the conditions there, and it's a lot of handling stuff off the field as much on the field, and we'll try not to get sick. That's number one. But it's a great. The subcontinent is like nearly the heartbeat of cricket these days. Everyone's cricket mad. It's like religion there nearly, and it's a great atmosphere and it gives a great energy to your cricket games. When you're at the hotel, wherever you are, everyone's playing cricket, talking about cricket, want to come meet you. So there's a lot of things going on off the field there we have to look after, and everyone has to be aware of. But it's an exciting place to play cricket. The crowds will be wild, and it's going to be really fun. The girls hopefully will enjoy the on-field and the off-field experiences there.
And looking beyond 2024, there is an ICC Women's World Cup in 2025. I mean, that's a little way ahead. But in terms of your overall preparations, are you looking one series at a time, or are you looking tournaments at a time?
Well, it's two ways. Obviously, you're going to have a long-term plan, which is probably to the 2026 World Cup in England. So that's probably the long-term plan, and I'm building towards that. Obviously, World Cup's on the way. So obviously, each series will have some goals and plans, but the long-term plan is to grow women's cricket in general, and having good success on the field will help that. But it's about growing the squad in general, and we need, I think, 25 to 30 players that are capable for international cricket. So over that next 3-year period, I'll be looking to grow that whole squad and have competition for each places. But each series is different. We'll be trialling new players, we're trialling new tactics. Every country is different, so there'll be different players for different countries, I'm sure. But as I said, it's going to be a real big squad effort to be able to lift the World Cup these days, because all the leading squads have 20 plus players who are world class, so we've got to match that, and that's the plan over the next 3 years.
Obviously, you've been involved in women's cricket, as mentioned earlier, with various national teams. What is exciting that keeps you motivated to coach women's cricket? Because obviously it's one of the fastest growing areas in international cricket now. Yeah,
I think fastest growing is a really good thing to be part of, but the girls are also accelerating their skills, their fitness, their strength. The women's game is really growing. Girls are hitting 80 plus metre sixes now. So back in 2014 when I coached Bangladesh team, it wasn't like that. It's changed so much. But I think the women's cricket has a lot of passion for the sport, and I'm very passionate about cricket myself. So the energy girls bring to the training and to the way they go about playing cricket is really refreshing. The girls are always very, very thankful when you train them, which I love. They always say thank you coach after every session, which the guys never do that. But it's just like the love for the game, the passion. They don't get rewarded as much as the men, etc., etc. They play for the passion and the love of the sport, and they just give you energy as a coach. And every day you wake up, wanting to give that energy back to them and to help them be the best they can.
As we wrap up now, Coach, obviously you've grown up looking at West Indies cricket. Now you're part of West Indies cricket. How special is that for you to be part of this legacy?
Yeah, a dream come true. When I was in the 80s, when I played cricket in the backyard, I was always the West Indian team. My favourite player was Gus Logie and Larry Gomes. I don't know why. But those two were the ones I wanted to be in the backyard. And my brother was Australia. I was sort of the West Indies a lot of the time. So, yeah, that were the best team in the world in the 70s and 80s. So you always wanted to be the best. And I really think the way they played cricket then rubbed off onto Australia and lifted Australia. And they were such competitive nations into the 90s. They were both, 1 and 2 in the world. And yeah, the talent and the way they played the game with a smile and the music and the crowd was always amazing to watch from Australia. Looking at the grounds in the West Indies was so cool. And to be here is an absolute dream come true. So I'm honoured. I want to keep the West Indies cricket legacy going, play the way cricket should be played in the West Indies, and excited to get started with the girls when we go to Australia, and we're going to have fun and play exciting cricket.